Hello, I'm going to tell you why I fix stuff. So I know in my Comptometer Model B video, I said that was the last one I was interested in getting, aside from the woodbox model. But then I thought to myself, I got pretty much all the hard ones, except for the woodbox model, of course. So it'll be pretty easy to just go out and get the rest of the other ones, at least the manual ones anyway. The electric compounders are also pretty rare, but at least as far as the manual ones, the Model H through the 3D11 are pretty readily available and not expensive at all. So just to complete the collection would make sense to go out and get those. So today we have this Comptometer Model H. Paid like 30 or 40 bucks for this. Like I said, pretty cheap and readily available, at least in the US anyway. So I got this, and actually it's not that bad. See, there's a bit of wear here and there where the paint wore off. Of course, the handle got bent in shipping. That's standard practice. The keys aren't in the best of shape. You can see there's one missing here and one missing there. So I'll have to see about finding a post machine for some keys. But as far as functionality, it does seem to work. See there, 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, 6 plus 7, 8, 9 plus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is 3, 3, 0. That is correct. Clear this out nice. It's a bit squeaky. You'll have to get some oil in there. But aside from some cleaning up and replacing the register window here, you can see it's busted out there. That's just a thin piece of plastic. What I use to replace those is actually the stuff that they make these long plastic tubes for you to slide over the fluorescent tubes. I don't know, it's like protection or diffusion or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I use. It's about the same thickness and it's clear, so it works pretty well to replace those. So let's start by opening this up. We'll take a look at the mechanism. We'll just have to take out 2 screws. So this Model H is made from 1920 to 1926, and it was the model that introduced some clearing enhancements. So you notice when I cleared it, I only had to pull the lever forward and then it sprung back, which is a big difference from what they had on the previous Model F, where you had to pull the lever all the way back and then pull it back forwards again. Definitely a lot simpler on this one. So we can get this out of here. Oh, usually these just pop right up. That's 2. Shouldn't be anything else holding this in. It should just pop right off. It's interesting. I guess I'll have to fight with that. It's the first time I've had that much trouble getting one of these covers off. They should just pop right out. Right, let me fight with that for a minute then. I was not really sure what the issue was. I just lifted up the front a little bit and it popped right out, but there's nothing behind here for it to catch on, so I'm not quite sure what was holding that. Anyway, you can see the register cover, just this thin little plastic sheet here. So just to slide that out, and then I'll cut a new piece out of that fluorescent tube coating, like I said, and slide that in. Yeah, of course that digit there is a little bit dirty because that's where the window was busted out, so some dirt got in. Let's see if we can clean that up. These ones look like they are split, so I might have to see if I can glue those back together. I have opened compounders before where these wheels were in such bad shape that the pieces were just lying on the bottom. The way these are built is there is a metal drum on the inside, and this is just a plastic shell with the numbers on it that wraps around. So the plastic shell can actually split and pieces can fall off. So I want to probably put some glue in there somehow, see if I can get those to so they don't fall off in the future at least. So like I was saying before, in addition to the lighter clearing handle and the faster clearing action, it also has some visual and audio cues that the machine has been cleared. I guess, there are some issues with operators forgetting to clear the machines or not realizing that the machines weren't cleared before they were still in operation. So when the machine is clear, which I should have showed this before, but all the zeros are misaligned a little bit, so you can look at the window and see that if the zeros are misaligned, the machine is cleared, and if the zeros are in line with the windows, then it hasn't been cleared. And also there's a bell, so the first key press after a clear rings the bell, but you know that you're starting on a clear machine. And those changes were carried on to the Model J, which I believe didn't make any actual functional changes, just changed the appearance with the green and white keys. But anyway, so with that off, we can take the handle out. And for that, you just need a little screwdriver. You're going to take the screw out of it. And if you're lucky, this will come out, which this one did. That's nice. Sometimes those are really jammed in there. You're going to have to pry them real hard to get them out. So with that out, we can flip this up. Let me put down the towel here. This one table still has some oil on it. Flip this up on the side. And then there are these 4 screws have to come out. You can see we're missing 2 feet, and these 2 feet are pretty much perfectly flat, so they don't really function as feet anymore. I haven't really found anything good to replace those. I don't believe the feet actually ever angled the machine, so you don't really lose anything by not having the feet, except that there might be slightly more likely to slide, but again, the way that you operate these machines, it's not really likely to. There's no back and forth force on it. Whereas, like on a pinwheel machine where you have to turn the crank, those machines sometimes slide around on the table, but comptometers really don't, because your key presses are always down, and the clearing handle isn't that stiff that it would want to move the machine. This one's like 20 or 30 pounds, something like that. So, at least I've never had an issue with them sliding around on the table, so the lack of feet doesn't really affect it from my perspective. But anyway, so with those out, should theoretically just lift out the top. Sometimes they get stuck though. Yeah, like this one. Doesn't quite feel like it wants to go. So we'll take it back to the side and see if we can work it out this way. Sometimes you can. I have to pause and fight with this for a minute too. So, 1 and 2 cooperate. The front's loose. You can see how it's split there in the front, but the back is up. 1 and 2 cooperate, so I have to I don't want to turn this upside down and rest it on the keycaps, but I have to if it's going to be this difficult. Alright, let me fight with that for a minute then. Then it's ending up this way, and now it seems to be more cooperative, at least slightly. Okay. Side of here, there we go. And now it's coming. So let's do it under there, do that. Okay. There we go. You can see the box is lined with cork. It's kind of like a sound dampening. I think what happens sometimes is it gets stuck on some of the shafts and stuff that stick out of the side of the machine. Something's gets stuck on that cork, I think. But anyway, it's out now. A little bit of dirt came out there, maybe some old cork. So, I believe the clearing operation for these that's interesting. So I was looking at this. I was going to say, I believe the clearing operation for these pivots the register somehow. It's actually the part down here that pivots. So watch when I pull the handle, the part down here pivots out to disengage. See how it moved out just a little bit? And now it stays disengaged until you hit a key, at which point it pops back in to engage with the mechanism. So that's kind of interesting. Definitely a change from the prior mechanism on the old style with the handle like that. The register stayed engaged all the time, and the clearing worked by basically adding enough numbers, essentially by simulating key presses, to clear out the register. And that style dated back to the Model A. The very first style was pretty noisy, the Model A, B. The way that it worked was there was a kind of like a fluted piece down here on the clearing part, and then each of the rockers that ran through the whole machine had a little knob on it that as you cleared it, the little fluted piece would, ratchet past the knobs and bounce all the levers, and with each bounce they would add 1 to the register until I got up to 9, and then at the end of the cycle it would trip a carry all the way across to clear it out to 0. And then on the Model C up to the Model F, they made it so that it didn't have that bouncing action anymore. I don't remember exactly what they did, but they made it so that it was a more quiet operation, but kind of the same idea where the risers all added numbers into the register until I got to 9, and then it took the carry all the way across. Versus on this, you can see it just pushes each individual digit back to 0, and there's no carry all the way across on this style. So definitely a lot smoother and simpler from an operation standpoint, but probably a more complicated mechanism, I'm guessing. Otherwise, I probably would have gone with this first. But anyway, looking at this, I really don't have any concerns here, at least not yet. The mechanism actually looks very clean inside. With the side here, there's really no hints of rust or corrosion of any kind. Flip around to the other side. And basically the same deal here. So if you don't know how the comptometer works, basically, if we look at the back here, you can see these are the back ends of the long pivot rods like I was talking about. So see those rods that run through all the back of those pieces, and those pieces pivot on those rods, and they run all the way up through the machine to the front where they have a tooth section. And each key you press pushes down on that piece and makes it rock, basically. So you push down on 1, that's pushing at the very front of it, so it only rocks a little tiny bit. And in that rocking action, it drives, the tooth section drives the register forward proportional to whatever you've entered. Actually, that column doesn't even work, so that's going to have to be looked into. So if you enter like a 5, well, 5 works. If you enter like a 5, then it rocks a little bit more so that it drives the register 5 position, and then it's on all the way up to 9. And then as time went on, like that's the basic idea, and then as time went on, they added more stuff like the control key mechanism, which this has, which detects if you don't push a key all the way down, it locks the rest of the keyboard so you can't press anything. So you go back and fix it, then you push this to reset that, and now you can, well, you should be able to anyway. This column is still locked. I have to figure that out. Alright, so not working as well as I initially thought it was, but that's why we look into this and test it. So 1 in this column doesn't actually do anything. Works in that column. This column is locked. This column works. Alright, So it's just this column, which is locked, and this column, which 1 doesn't do anything. 2 doesn't either. I'll just lock itself again. 3 works fine. 2 doesn't work. It's locking itself for some reason. This column is still locked, even if I pull down the control key, it's still locked. So that one's not releasing, and this one's not working for 1 and 2. So that's some stuff to look into here. Take that out, flip this up. You can see the bottom of the keys here. So you can see each key comes down and has the end of it is in this pivoting thing, which is sprung, and that springs the key back up. So we're going to look into what's up with the column that's not working, and the other column that's locked, and then we'll just go over and oil everything here, make sure everything's working nice and smoothly. You can see the bell back there, which is new to the Model H. And hopefully I'll be about it for this one. Hopefully not a super complicated project here, but I do still have a few small issues to address. I think I found the issue. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but this is essentially the issue with 1 and 2 not working. So this column down here is a good one. You can see that it's got this finger that sticks way out the bottom, and then above that is a series of ratchets, which not sure how much you can see, but the main issue is, see how this one has a finger that sticks straight out the bottom? This one, the finger is bent over. And what the point of those pieces there is there is a stop. When you get to the bottom of the keystroke, there's a bar that will go into the gaps on this ratchet and prevent the main rocker thing from going down too far and overshooting or adding too many numbers. So what's happening on the 1 and 2 is when the bar tries to slide into that groove and stop it from going down anymore, it's actually sliding underneath the bent over finger and preventing it from going down at all. So hopefully, I find a pair of pliers here. Hopefully, if we just give this a bit of a bend, hoping it doesn't break off. As I was expecting. And I have to fight with this a little bit. Oh, there it goes. That looks close to what the other one has. Alright, so to get that in that state, I had to trap 2 columns down, so I will finish the strokes, reset the trip there, and now let's see. Let's go back around to the front so you can see. So I know I've got 6, so let's add a 4. We'll clear it out to 0. 0 on the top, that is. I know it's at 0, so now if I add 2, hey, it works. I add 1. Alright, so that seems to have fixed that issue. Next I'm going to dive into this column, which is always locked. So I'll dive into that one next. So I'm not sure what was wrong with this column, but after working it a little bit, it seems to have come back. So maybe something was a little bit stuck with that, but like I said, it seems to work fine now. So I drizzled some oil down in the side here, if that'll work its way across. I had the machine up on its side, so hopefully some of the oil will work its way across. You can't really get to some of the parts right under the keyboard to oil them without taking this top plate off. When I take the top plate off, you take all of the keys out. Because unlike other machines where the easiest way to get the heat plate off is to pull all the keycaps. These are on here much tighter, I believe, than most of the other machines. So you actually have to take all the key stems out, detach them from that. There was pivoting plates in the bottom, and they slide out the top. Then once all those are out, then you can take the top plate off. But I don't think that's worth it for right now. Like I said, it seems to be working. So yeah, a bit of cleaning here in the front. I put oil in all the little oil holes after I blew all the dirt out of them. So yeah, I think we're just ready to put this thing back together. I have installed the new window. You can't really see that, but and clean up this 0 key. So yeah, I think we're ready to put this back together and do a little final demonstration. Alright, it's all back together now. That seems to work. If you do subtraction, so you have 45, I want to subtract 9. You enter 1 less than what you want to subtract on the small digits. So we're going to subtract 9 from this column. 9 is larger than 5, so we have to subtract 0, 9. So on the small digits, we're going to enter 0, 8, which would be these two keys, and hold up this carry inhibit. And 45 minus 9 is 36, so that seems to work. If you want more description on that, you can check out my other videos on comptometers. We're just going to kind of go through this quickly, because I've gone over this multiple times in other videos. So for multiplication, we can do 625 times 625, so 625, and we want to enter it 5 times 0, 2 times 0, and 6 times 0, and 3 to 0, 625 is correct. So we can do division, 355, and then we're going to use a small one less on the small key, so 113, we're going to enter 112. Nothing here, so 113 is larger than 355, so we subtract. Not subtract, but add, but it kind of has the effect of subtracting, because usually the complements anyway. So we keep going until this number is smaller than what we're holding on our fingers, which it is now. 16 is less than 113, so we move over. 0 here, so keep going until that's less, and just repeat the process. And we've got a 1 here, so we enter until the number here matches what we've entered. Still matches, so now we look at here again, keep going until that's less. Got a 1 here. And there we go, 3.141599, and then this is our remainder. So that seems to work. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. Just a quick little look at a quick repair on this Comptometer Model H. So enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.